Thanks for bullying me about the VPN, chat. Thanks. Yeah, I do have a VPN. Yes, I do. And wouldn't you know it, that engaging your VPN while you're in the middle of a live stream actually impacts the live stream. Did you realize this? Did you realize this? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And then someone doubted me and bullied me into trying to prove that I do have a VPN. Ugh. Anyway, hello, I'm back. And you put the VPN on in the middle of the stream. Well, I wanted to prove that I could do this. I wanted to prove to all of you, all the doubters, the haters and losers. Now I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's just try.
Earlier this year, the nation was captivated by a Chinese spy balloon drifting across North America. Turns
it's
out
not
there's
live
more,
orb, lady.
Or is it?
This segment's going very well. This segment's going very well. Wonderful. I like this, actually. I like this. It makes me happy that this is happening. I think it's cool. And I wish that it would happen more. I'll just look at this thread from Adam Johnson. I would like to look at this news clip. Maybe I can get it for tomorrow or something like that. Is it cold there? Not really. It's like it's hoodie weather. 18 degrees. I think that's like the low 70s. Something. I don't know Fahrenheit. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, Adam Johnson says CBS segment by Pentagon stenographer David Martin, where the DoD admits the quote Chinese spy balloon did no actual spying and had no operational spying equipment, but insists it could have spied if it wanted to, or something, so everyone can save face. And if I try to play it here, will it work? No, good. Good. It would seem to me Adam Johnson said it would seem to me a fundamental feature of a quote spy balloon would be a balloon that was actually spying or had working instruments capable of spying, rather than some platonic capacity to perhaps maybe do so. I don't know. Absent this significant criteria, I'd think it's just a balloon. And as we talked about, again, on my non-mainstream media stream here, where I have no resources, I have no think tank people coming to weigh in, I got no connections with the military-industrial complex, yet we were able to ascertain that this was not, in fact, a spy balloon. Is this shit working or is it not working? I'm really confused. Now it says I'm unstable. Now it says I'm unstable and that I have poor network connection. This was just a disaster, trying to engage my VPN while I was doing live. What the hell was I thinking? Anyway, somehow we were able to ascertain the solution to this, which is that why would China be spying with this balloon in a world where satellites exist? In a world where satellites exist, and China is capable of taking pictures of the United States of America. Why would they send this balloon, which can be seen with the naked eye? What is it doing that satellites can't do? Remember all this shit? It's flying over all these military bases. They were showing these like news hits, showing the map and showing on the map where the military bases are, and saying like China's flying over. They're flying this balloon over this area, right over these military bases, just showing on the news like the location of these bases where they have nuclear weapons and stuff. What is this balloon doing that a satellite can't do? Well, they were never able to articulate that exactly, but there was still an unhinged freakout about it. Check out these hard-hitting, power-threatening, truth-seeking questions from CBS's David Martin.
On paper, it looks like this colossal mismatch. one of this country's most sophisticated jet fighters.
Yes, sir.
Against a balloon with a putt-putt motor.
Yes, sir.
Was it a sure thing?
Sir, it's a sure thing, no doubt.
Would have been an epic fail.
Yes, sir, it would have been.
They tricked the news into releasing the locations of the military bases. That's right. So I don't know. I would like to look at this 5-minute story about this, where they basically admit there might be more. The bizarre secret behind Chinese spy balloons. So we can't look at the clip, but we can, or can we? We got an ad here.
Signing this is a declaration of war.
We're already at war.
I'm not watching this Yellowstone.
Earlier
here we
this
go.
year,
Look,
the nation was captivated
problem solved.
by
I could have just clicked on the link the whole fucking time. Let's look at this.
Chinese spy balloon drifting across North America. Turns out there's more, or is it less, to that story than meets the eye.
Turns out, yeah.
David Martin.
It turns out it was just a fucking balloon. Who could have predicted?
It was surely the most bizarre crisis of the Biden administration. America's top-of-the-line jet fighters, seen here in routine training, sent up to shoot down.
You can count on me
all
and have good old Rob
balloon.
to talk you through all this.
Thank you, Himbo Slice, for 17 months of Tier 1. Remember all the footage of the balloon and like playing the fucking American national anthem and stuff, and they're going like, yeah, we got it. Fucking amazing. Thanks again, Himbo Slice. I appreciate it.
Sent up to shoot down, of all things, a balloon.
The balloon is completely destroyed.
A Chinese spy balloon floating across the United States.
And notice how they're still calling it in this very clip that debunks the entire idea that it was a spy balloon. Notice how they're still referring to it as a spy balloon. Even in this news story, which completely establishes firmly that it was not spying on anybody, but they're still referring to it as the Chinese spy balloon.
In your airspace espionage that had the nation and its politicians in a tizzy.
This was unbelievable. This whole thing was so embarrassing.
Angry. I want to use other words, but I'm not going to.
Now, 7 months later,
how can
General
anyone
Mark
take this country
Milley, chairman
seriously
of
at
the
this
Joint
point?
Chiefs of Staff,
This is,
tells CBS
as I was saying
Sunday
at the
morning,
time, this is not a confident nation. This is not a confident empire, secure in its place in the world, having this extended freakout over a balloon that blows across their country. You know what I mean? This is not projecting confidence or strength around the world. This is just a humiliation that America freaked out like this. The media, the political figures, and Canada as well. Canada was, we were like, we were scared too. It was over Canada too. We're helping. We're helping track the balloon. Canada was just we were just happy to be involved, frankly. Canada was just happy to be included a little bit. Yeah, it is dying empire vibes. Seriously, you're frightened by your own shadow. This is the confident, powerful American empire. Freaking out over a fucking balloon.
The balloon wasn't spying.
The intelligence community, their assessment, and it's a high confidence assessment, that there was no intelligence collection by that balloon.
So if it wasn't collecting intelligence...
Who could have predicted? If only there was a random Canadian fucking guy, a scraggly Canadian dude out here that could have provided that analysis in literally 1 moment. You needed this multi-million-dollar airplane to shoot down this thing and all of the vast spying powers of the CIA to really look at this thing and figure, no, this was actually not spying on us at all.
They're doing over the United States.
Why was it over the United States? There's various theories.
The balloon had been headed
maybe it's like
toward
exactly
Hawaii,
what they said, that
but
it
the
blew
winds
off course.
At 60,000 feet apparently took over.
At altitude, those winds are very high.
Which is
The
exactly
particular
what
motor
China
on
said
that
happened.
Aircraft can't go against those winds at that altitude. And at least one leading theory is it was blown off track.
Over Alaska and Canada, and then down over the lower 48 to Billings, Montana.
I just happened to notice out of the corner of my eye a white spot in the sky.
Citizen photographer Chase
Yeah,
Doe
exactly
recorded
like
it
they
from his
said
driveway.
immediately.
I, of course,
When they were like,
went-
what are you talking about? Spy balloon. This is just a random balloon that blew off course. We're like, a likely story to these devious Chinese spies. And then 7 months later, we used the intelligence to ascertain that the balloon did not have spying apparatus that were functional at that time. And we believe that it was a strong gust of wind that blew the balloon. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what they said the first day. As you freaked the fuck out. This is like a 2-week saga, this whole thing. It was truly one of the most amazing things that we've covered on this show. DoD theorists are theorizing what China said on day one, what any person with a functioning brain was able to figure out all on their own. Similar to the Cheeto that fell out of my hand when the wind blew really fast tactically. My dumbass former bro-in-law military veteran tried to prove it was a balloon or a spy balloon by explaining that we, as in Canada, have so much spying equipment you wouldn't believe. We have a balloon over Vancouver for the Olympics. Like, yeah, I don't think you're making the point that you think you are. One Sidewinder missile, forget the F whatever the fuck's flight time. One missile cost $472,000. There you go. We got to cancel that child tax credit, though. We need more childhood poverty because that caused inflation. It caused inflation when we helped people buy groceries for like a few months. We got to make sure we cancel that. But yeah, this is okay.
Ended on the most logical explanation that it was an extraterrestrial craft.
He had studied photojournalism in college.
Took a photo, took a quick video, and then I grabbed a few coworkers just to make sure that I wasn't seeing things and had them take a look at it.
You'll probably never take a more famous picture.
No, I don't think I ever will.
He tipped off the Billings Gazette, which got its own picture, and he told anybody who asked they could use his free of charge.
I didn't want to make anything off of it. I thought it was a national security issue,
Yeah, you
and
fucked
all
up,
of
dude.
America needed to know about
You
it.
should have made money off
As
it.
the
Would have
U-2
been
spy
would
plane
have been a
tracked
great
the
scam.
200-foot balloon, Secretary of State Blinken called off a crucial trip to China.
He called off the trip to China.
Decision to fly a surveillance balloon over the continental United States is both unacceptable and irresponsible.
The president ordered the Air Force to shoot it down as soon as it
Loser
reached the
country.
Atlantic Ocean.
What were the orders?
To shoot down a balloon 6 miles off the coast.
Colonel Brandon Tellez planned the operation. This
Planned the
previously
operation
unreleased
to
video
shoot down
shows
this
his
balloon.
F-22s taking off for the mission.
Loser country.
On
Dying
paper,
empire.
Looks like this colossal
Frightened
mismatch.
by their own shadow.
One of this country's most sophisticated jet fighters
Yes, sir.
against a balloon with a putt-putt motor.
Yes, sir.
Was it a sure thing?
Sir, it's a sure thing, no doubt.
Would have been an epic fail.
Yes, sir, it would have been. But if you would have seen that, first shot miss, there would have been 3 or 4 right behind it that ended the problem.
Did you have a plan B in case the air-to-air missiles didn't work?
Sir, we had a plan Z.
You were ordered to engage.
But it only took a single
We
missile
simply
which homed in on
used
the
the computer
heat
to
of
mark
the
up
sun,
the size of the account.
Planned it, haha, what a genius. Too bad we didn't have him for the strategy on D-Day.
Thank you, Dimitri. Yeah, you really had to plan this out. What I think we should do is fly one of our planes up there and shoot a missile at it. How about that? How much did that missile cost? We just figured that out a few moments ago. It was like $425,000. Sorry, even more. $472,000.
reflected off the balloon.
Franklin.
After the Navy raised the wreckage from the bottom, technical experts discovered the sensors had never been activated while over the continental United States. By then, the damage to U.S.-China relations had been done.
This silly balloon that was carrying 2 freight cars worth of spying equipment was flying over the United States, and it got shot down.
The damage to Chinese-U.S. relations had been done, but who did the damage, though? Who did the damage, though? There's kind of like both sides made big mistakes here.
Everything changed in terms of talking to one another.
So bottom line, it was a spy balloon, but it wasn't spying.
I would say it was a spy balloon that we know with high degree of certainty got no intelligence and didn't transmit any intelligence back to China.
Great stuff. Thank you. Thank you to the brave heroes.
When I was 17, I wanted to be a
Thank you to the brave heroes. It was a spy balloon that was not spying. Well done. Well done, everybody. Jesus Christ. What an absolute farce. And again, if you tuned into mainstream media, you might be this absolute, you might have this kind of paranoia that you're being spied on or attacked or provoked by China. Whereas if you tune into this Twitch stream of me, with no connections, with no fancy J school degrees, with no, I don't go to the military conferences and I don't have the contacts with the people. Lo and behold, though, I was able to piece this together just myself with the folks in the chat. That this was just a random balloon that blew off course. And then also just listening to what China was saying about it. When they said, yeah, it's not a spy balloon, it's a weather balloon that blew off course. And then 7 months later, after God knows how much money and resources were spent to get into the bottom of this thing, they were like, yeah, this is actually what was happening. Would be better if you're connected to Chinese intelligence. Well, maybe one day. Maybe one day. The U.S. whined and cried and said, we're not talking to you because we found your spy balloon that you sent over on the jet stream. And they said, we have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And whoopsie daisy, U.S.-China diplomatic hopes have been dashed because some guy in the Dakotas had to take a picture. Yeah. So I could have just watched that rather than tried to activate my VPN. Look at all these news stories. What possible intelligence did the Chinese spy balloon gather?
In February, a suspected Chinese spy balloon flew over the United States before being shot down by an F-22 U.S. warplane off the coast of South Carolina. The U.S. Navy recovered the debris from a 200-foot tall vessel to examine its capabilities and the potential intelligence it gathered along its journey at 65,000 feet. So what kind of information could this spy balloon have collected? Let's start by looking at the path it took.
Well, we know that it entered the United States at the Aleutian Islands, and then it flew over parts of Alaska, re-entered the United States at Idaho, but went over Montana, where Malmstrom Air Force Base
collecting really chill guys'
sites that have nuclear.
They could have just asked me for those.
We can surmise from other sightings of it over Kansas that it probably went over Nebraska as well, where Strategic Air Command is. So it probably went over nuclear missile sites as well as command and control. These sites are sensitive for a reason, right? I mean, they're the most strategic assets that the military has.
Spooky music,
weapons that could destroy the world. So they need to
which they could just take pictures of with their satellites over these sites where we know there's public knowledge where these missiles are, but okay.
They would certainly have had high-resolution cameras on it to take still photos, but they probably had full-motion video as well.
Probably.
They may have
just
also
guessing.
had
It's just speculative. This is
that
fan
would pick
fiction
up
hour.
on
They might have had this.
The balloon itself was 200 feet
It
tall.
might have had a
the
minigun on
that
there
carried the surveillance
to shoot down
gear
at the
was
local
the size of a
TGI
regional
Fridays.
jet airliner. and it weighed thousands
spray
of
it with
pounds.
bullets.
So if you're dropping that,
because they hate
shooting
freedom, it
down
could have
and
had that as well.
drops
We don't
from
know.
60,000 feet, it's going to hit something. And the other factor was that we spied on the spy. We picked up on its capabilities because it was over the United States, and we were able to
It might have been
monitor it
filled
and
with
see what it was
fentanyl.
doing.
That's right.
So we learned just as much as the Chinese in examining what was going on with their balloon.
Absolutely incredible. This was just such a remarkable. Look at all the news stories about this. New details on intelligence capabilities.
New insights about
There
China's
was so many. This
covert
was a
mission
whole
high
week-long
above the
news
US.
cycle about
In
this.
exclusive reporting from NBC
What a
News,
what an absolute
the Chinese
joke.
spy balloon that traveled across the country for several days was able to gather intelligence passing over sensitive American military sites.
All the Chinese
Before it was
learned that
shot
the US
down
is
in
a fragile,
February on
irrational,
President
dying
Biden's
empire,
order.
which they already
That's
knew.
according
That's
to
right.
2 current and 1 former senior official. Among the new findings, China steered the balloon in a figure-8 pattern at times and collected electronic signals detected from U.S. bases and weapon systems. The balloon had a remote self-destruct mechanism. Sources say it's unclear if that failed or China did not use it. The White House today.
It had a propeller, it had a rudder, it had the ability to speed
Absurd
up,
country.
slow down, turn. It had maneuverability.
Sources also told NBC News the balloon was able to send back intelligence to Beijing in real time.
As of right now, we're still doing an assessment of what exactly the intel was that China was able to gather.
China claims it was a commercial weather balloon.
Part of it is a test to see whether they can penetrate our airspace. Part of it is, frankly, collecting intelligence in real time.
Today, national security officials said the U.S. did take measures against the balloon that mitigated China's ability to collect sensitive U.S. data.
Okay, they did measures.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
It's so stupid. It's so funny. 6 months ago, Inside look at China's fleet of high-altitude balloons. There's a whole fleet of these things now. Oh my God, dude. Oh, and then, yeah, what's inside China's spy balloon? Former CIA director explains. You got the director of the CIA coming on to NBC News 7 months ago to talk about this. Why does CIA even need to do the Operation Mockingbird stuff? You just get the CIA guy to go
CIA
on there.
director, and of course an NBC News senior national security and intelligence analyst. I also got Richard Haas with us, president of the Council on Foreign Relations, and he's author of the book, The Bill of Obligations.
We
the 10
passed
Habits of
legislation
Good
against
Citizens.
the balloon, of course.
John, I want to start with you on the sort of spycraft here. China surveils us in a number of ways. Satellites, through, we think and fear through TikTok, things like that. What does a surveillance balloon like this get them that their other technologies do not?
Well, Chuck, I think it's unclear. Obviously, this balloon
it's unclear.
is now
Yeah, it
hovering
is.
60,000 feet above U.S. territory. And I'm sure it has visual observation capability as well as technical collection capability. And so it's a lot closer to the Earth. And
Thank
although
you,
the
John.
Chinese have a pretty
Really
extensive
great,
satellite
riveting
coverage in the United
analysis
States,
here.
it's not 24/7 on every inch of U.S. territory. So I guess the question is whether or not there is going to be some type of additional intelligence that they can glean as a result of having this balloon. It also could be that there's no intelligence value to this, that they just are trying to see what the U.S. reaction is going to be, and to see whether or not the way we respond to it provides them some type of framework that there are some disputed areas in East Asia.
Do these guys just lack the ability to feel shame?
Near
Yes.
Taiwan and China, both in terms of territorial waters and sea, airspace. And so I do think it's been prudent so far for the administration to be closely monitoring this, to acknowledge it, to confront China directly, to cancel Secretary Blinken's trip, but also not to take in rather impulsive action in terms of shooting it down.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to toot my own horn on this. I would just like to take a moment, because again, this was February, and now it's been revealed that this spy balloon now has been revealed to actually not be a spy balloon. And I would just take a brief moment here to take a look at the coverage. And we're not going to look at this for like a super long time or anything. I would just like to take a little brief moment to take some time to look at the coverage that we did over here on this stream, where we managed to get to the bottom of this complicated mystery in one afternoon of looking at this footage. And however many millions or billions of dollars were spent on getting to the bottom of this now, and months later, you'll notice that my shitty coverage on my stupid stream where I sing Steely Dan songs and dance like a moron for people's enjoyment somehow was able to get to the bottom of this mystery before the incredibly well-funded United States government security apparatus was able to do so. Did you see CPC sent us a friendship balloon? I did see that. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that today. I did see the Chinese spy balloon, and as we covered China's devious plot to attack Canada's institutions through this kind of secret agent infiltration in the school boards and politics and the media. We've seen it here, so it's not surprising that it's happening to down there as well. A government official. You know? I was supposed to be interviewing a guy who's in charge of the renovation of one of the buildings on my campus. I'm sorry, Coleman. That's not cool. Why do they need to send a balloon? Is it that much of a secret? It seems like it's just, if you're talking about them, is anyone writing this down?
Sensitive area, and the red areas that we've
look
marked
showing
on
where the
map there,
bases
those
are.
are the areas where the satellite bases to launch the missiles are sited. And so
this is terrifying
every
stuff,
base, so the Maelstrom base or the Billings base has 50 missiles.
We simply
and those
use the
missiles
computer
are in
to
groups
mark
of
up
10.
the
So
size of the
five
account.
launch control points.
We should.
Connected
Is
to
anyone
every
writing this
base.
down?
And
They're showing a map of the air bases and saying how many missiles are there and what missiles, and they're like, China might have access to this information. Admiral Praxis, thank you for the 300 friend coin. China might have access to this information. You mean the information that you're showing on the news right now at this very moment? That information? That's what they might have? Okay.
The red area shows you the distribution of the launch control points. They're quite well spread out for obvious reasons.
Maybe they're observing all the
And
neo-Nazi
this
enclaves in Idaho.
Has been hovering over them for some time, and it's really upset the Americans. I mean, the balloon is we guess
These silos are so secret that this fucking random guy is talking about it on Sky News. Why do they need to send a balloon? Is it that much of a secret? It seems like it's just, if you're talking about it on the news, it seems like it's just common knowledge. Yeah, you don't need to send a balloon. Just watch this segment. What's the balloon going to do? Make fart noises at the soldiers? This is in my brief period where I'm sorry, but we're going to have to look at all the coverage of this now.
50,000
This is
feet.
an explosive
Aircraft
story.
Get to about 40,000 feet. They could fire rockets.
You can count on me.
I think I was even. Oh, I thought I was getting a sub, but I was getting a recorded sub. I think I was even taken aback because I think I started doing this as a joke without realizing how much it was going to be a huge story. And I think I had a dawning sense of realization over this like 2-hour segment that they were actually like taking this so seriously. Yeah, this balloon tricked CNN to giving up this sensitive intel. Very devious, exactly.
The balloons is that they go.
Honestly humiliating. Now he's explaining how balloons work.
It's really upset the Americans. I mean, the balloon is we guess, something above 60,000 feet. Aircraft get to about 40,000 feet. They could fire rockets at it. But the point about the balloons is that they go above
You
the
can
level
count on
that
me. You're
aircraft
going to have
can
good old
fly
Rob to
effectively.
talk you through all this.
This is so confusing.
Exactly.
My
So they
son was in
occupy
that balloon.
space.
This is so confusing. Mac at Work, thank you very much for 3 months of Tier 1. Thank you, Mac at Work. I don't know who's subbing and who's subbing in the past here. This is like a Christopher fucking Nolan movie here. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's like a non-linear narrative on this stream today. Thank you again, Mac at Work. That's very kind of you. I was just showing, we were talking about the Chinese spy balloon, and I was looking back at some of my coverage from this incident months ago, when now they've done this extensive investigation and determined that this spy balloon that they were all shitting their pants over was in fact not spying on anyone and was not actually that big of a deal and was just a balloon that got blown off course, which is exactly what China said was happening. As we launched into this paranoid 3-week freak out over this thing. I'm going a little long today, but I do have to leave soon. I do have to get going soon. I'll just take a few more moments to look at my coverage here.
Between the ceiling for aircraft and satellites. And so they're into the stratosphere. And these balloons...
I'm just pointing out, again, I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just pointing out that me, Rob Rousseau, former failed rock star, and just like weird Canadian communist guy, was somehow correctly able to get to the bottom of this mystery on day one, while our entire multi-billion-dollar connected national media establishment engaged in this 3-week-long paranoid delusional frenzy over this thing, only to determine 8 months later, oh, by the way, that was actually not that big of a deal. It wasn't spying on anyone, and it was not actually that important. There's something about that that's amusing to me.
Long time, surveilling and listening and collecting information.
Have they shot a nuke? What if they nuked the balloon?
What is this about?
I'm not going to go into any further specifics. Thank you. Sir?
The Pentagon update.
This is a
Pentagon continues to track Chinese spy balloon. Another sub from the past here.
Given that it flies over nuclear sites in the state of Montana.
Yeah, so again, I'm not going to get into intelligence. As we mentioned in our statement last night,
I think I was putting on
was detected,
Michael Bay music or something. This is our Franz Ferdinand. It's what we deserve.
Of sensitive information, and I'll just leave it at that. Thank you. Phil?
Or radioactive material aboard the balloon, or
is there nuclear or radioactive material? Is there radioactive material?
Short answer is no. But again, right now we do not assess that the balloon in its current configuration at approximately 60,000 feet poses a physical.
No signs of intelligent life. That was the determination that China made watching this stuff happen play out. Thank you to Nor. Thank you, Nor, for the 6 months of Tier 1. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
The latest Ukraine aid package has the potential to target Crimea. Is that the intent behind providing it now?
I think that's a reason to not make sure you're clocking its location at all times, though. Oh, this was funny. You. Oh, the whole movie's there. Okay, hold on. Don't mind me. The payoff for this will be very funny. The payoff for this will be very funny. Don't you worry, okay? Now, folks, I know this is really alarming, but I have some more exclusive footage of the balloon situation, and I hope if any of you are sensitive to this kind of really scary footage, I would just want to give everyone a little content warning about this. This footage this incredibly disturbing footage of the balloon that I'm about to show you. Okay? Oh no.
So what does this whole story mean? The only way to
we need some more Robs on screen. Well, if someone subscribes, terrible. If someone subscribes, you get a couple Robs on the screen. Terrible. Laughing the same way. That's right. Canada monitoring.
And then work on.
You can count on me. You're gonna have a good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Projects, and then they have taken away.
Thank you, Dimitri, for the gifted sub. I really appreciate it.
Which is now evident in terms of the design of the drones and aircrafts and many other things. So I think the larger message that China is right now trying.
This was truly amazing. You know what I mean? That's not saying like, oh, I think it would be great if that happened. I don't.
You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
There's so many. I'm just saying, if it's going to happen, we could at least just support it being the funniest story that could launch the whole thing. You know, it's our one thing that we could kind of hold on to. This is funny too because there's another thing where they're showing the actual exactly where the military bases are. Can you imagine if China had access to this information that we're showing on fucking Fox News? I didn't think there could be any more Robs on screen. Like I can find one of my classic clips. I just wanted to give a little I told you so self-congratulatory little segment here where I revisited my coverage of this. Thank you to 2023 more like 1984 for 5 months tier 1. Thank you for that. You mean the information that's freely available on Google Maps? That's right. Yeah. Exactly. I've got to find one of these clips where I'm on the screen like 5 times. I don't know how. I don't know how to find it. Just one moment. Don't worry, this is going to pay off. This is going to pay off big time. Believe it. Believe me. You're going to love this. Any moment now, I'm going to put on a clip that's going to be very funny. But believe me. In just a second. Nope. Can't find it. Good.
Sure. Radio play time doing.
Jordan, what's up? I don't know. No, that's not it. Sorry. You don't even believe. You're not even going to believe how great this is going to be. When I find the clip that we're looking for here. You tried deleting System 32. Try deleting that. Did you try deleting System 32? It's so small. The clips are so small. You know what? It's not important. It's not important. Did you try closing the stream and then burning down your apartment building? No, I did not try that. That's an interesting strategy, though. This is one of the funniest clips to come out. Oh yeah, they put out this. They put this out in the Chinese media. Honestly, like if there was some kind of purpose to this spy balloon, this is what it was. Like, right? They completely just exposed the U.S. for being completely paranoid and delusional, and they were just the entire world was laughing at America for this. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to laugh. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to laugh. Okay.
完成.
And showing the satellite in the air is a nice touch as well. Yeah, maybe they did do it on purpose and the results were way funnier than they ever imagined. Like, how can you possibly ever take this dying nation, dying empire seriously? Who is this? That's just Seth RD. Can you tell me about the friendship triangle? Yes, I can. I would be happy to tell you about the friendship triangle. In fact, I have this little video presentation for that exact reason. If you want to learn more about this exciting system, the friendship triangle, then you can do so on this little video that I created. Here you go.
Thank you for expressing interest in the Friendship Triangle community. We would be thrilled to have you on board as a member of our exclusive platform. As you may know, the Friendship Triangle is Twitch's only two-dimensional, triangle-shaped, friendship access and trickle-down clout tiered reward system.
Thank you, Dr. Maggot,
Today you have an amazing opportunity to join the base level of the Friendship Triangle system. Once you are part of the community, you'll have the ability to rise through the ranks and achieve higher levels of access and rewards. One way to do this is by gifting subscriptions to your fellow members or by inviting your friends and family members to join our community. As you ascend the tiers, you will be exposed to a range of new and exciting benefits, such as exclusive content, advanced features, and access to our elite community members. We are confident that you will enjoy all the perks that come with being part of the Friendship Triangle. However, we also want to remind you that not all friends and family members are to be trusted, especially those who may not support your new lifestyle. That's why we encourage you to focus on building meaningful relationships within our community, where you will find like-minded individuals who share your interests and values. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team. We are always here to support our members and ensure that your experience with the Friendship Triangle is enjoyable. We're glad that you are considering joining the Friendship Triangle community. We look forward to seeing you rise through the chaos zone and all the way to the elite tier.
To talk you through all this.
It's not a cult.
Thank you, Dr. Maggot, for another gifted sub. I really appreciate that, Dr. Maggot. Thank you for that. And I gotta go soon. I gotta go. Do we have 3 more subscribers? 3 more subs to hit the goal. And who's the chatter that asked about this? An unsubbed chatter, a non-community member, Seth RD. What do you say, Seth? What do you say? Does that sound like something you would be interested in? Does this sound like a community that you'd like to be involved in? This is a life-changing opportunity, Seth. How many of those come along in your life? Pivotal moments in your life, crossroads moments, when you can go in one direction or you can go in the other. Right now, you can choose to take a step into a whole brand new lifestyle. And join this wonderful dynamic community. And it's once again, Twitch's only two-dimensional triangle-shaped friendship access and trickle-down clout tiered reward system. No, it's not a cult. I mean, it explicitly says that it's not a cult. Did you not hear that? I'm just going to play that last part again, in case you missed that.
It's not a cult.
It says there, right there. So if you were ever concerned about that, I mean, it says right there that that's not the case.
Talk you through all this.
Pretty explicit. Legally, if it is a cult, you have to say that it is.
Count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Dr. Maggot, thank you for gifting us out to our new friend, Seth, who's now in the community and can't leave now. To be clear, once you're in there, then getting out is kind of a bit of a problem. So we don't encourage that. Thank you, Dr. Maggot, for the gifted subs, and thank you, Ben, as well, for the gifted sub. Thank you, Ben. Where do I get my Adidas tracksuit? It's funny because I am wearing a TRRS Friendship Triangle official tracksuit right now at this very moment. So, if you think I'm fucking around here, I'm not. I take this shit really seriously. And as we have outlined, not only is this a wonderful community that will change your life and give you access to all kinds of new friends and experiences, but you actually get better coverage on these kind of news stories that you will get by following the extremely well-funded and well-connected mainstream journalism machine. So it's really a win-win-win. It's a win-win-win here. I gotta go now, folks. We have one more. We have one more hero. Who's gonna be the brave hero that's gonna step up and get TRRS to the daily sub goal? It's right there. It's right there for the taking. Oh shit, and I found it too. Hold on. Is this worth one sub? Is this worth one more sub? Check this out.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
This is so many Robs. Dr. Maggot, thank you for another gifted sub. I really appreciate that, Dr. Maggot. Thank you. Are you ready for this?
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Crowd Babes, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Crowd Babes. That's so many Robs on screen at once. That's more Robs than we've seen. That's more Robs than have been on screen at any time, for sure. You see all the different sets as well throughout the years. Too many Robs. Is there such a thing? That's the question. That's the question. Is there such a thing? I don't know. Thanks again, Crowd Babes, for the gifted subs. This is the channel where you get the better geopolitical analysis than you get on mainstream media. This. It's a sad state of affairs. I was so low energy starting the stream today, and I was depressed, and look how we're finishing. Look at that. Goodbye.